Good afternoon, ladies, and thank you for joining me at Ali M's Beauty today. Now, I'm aware that I haven't put out very many non-live videos recently, and I just wanted to say, for those that may be new to Ali M's Beauty, welcome, hello. I've actually been doing Charlotte Tilbury ever since I started my channel. And I started my channel 6 to 7 years ago now. So I've been running for a long time. I am not sponsored. I am not affiliated, any of that stuff. But one thing I will say to you is that the way that I run my channel is that I've got one loyalty, and my loyalty is to my viewers. So even though I fell in love with Charlotte Tilbury 6 to 7 years ago, and I've got most of her collection, I am brutally honest when I don't like something, as some of you that have followed me for a while know. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're watching me and you go and buy something that I've recommended to you that is duff, then you're not going to come back to me. So you're my only people that matter. Okay? Now, she's bought out some new items, and I haven't even opened them yet. Look, don't we all miss the days when they had the nice tissue paper? I don't know what it was, but it just made it feel more luxury. Anyway, I haven't opened it yet, but I am going to show you what I've got, and then we're going to get on with reviewing these videos. Let's try that again. We're going to get on with reviewing these new items from Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, and I have got my base on already, and I've actually gone all Charlotte Tilbury today. If you want to see the details of everything that I've got on, just have a look down below in the description bar. Let's get on with it. Okay, everything's unboxed and I've taken swatch pictures. So I basically bought the 3 new items because other things are kind of gift boxes of things that I already have. So I got the Beautyverse palette, which is this. Another lovely, stunning packaging for Christmas. Very pretty. And then the 2, nearly dropped one, the 2 Hollywood Blush and Glow Glide palettes. Now, I don't know why I didn't realise this. I should have done, given the price. But actually, they are miniatures, if you see. Now, given that they were £25 each, I should have known, because her bronze and glow palettes were always more expensive than £25. But to give you an idea, this is one of her special edition ones from a few years ago, and that is the size of these blush and glow palettes. Okay, and also to give you an idea, there is 7.5 grams of product in these, and in the original Film Star Bronze and Glow, there's 22.5. So it's a third, basically, a third of the amount that you got in the original Bronze and Glow. She did bring out a miniature Bronze and Glow, so it's kind of that. Now, the reason I got both shades is because she does light to medium and then tan to dark. And I'm always somewhere in the middle. And I've got some ideas about how you could pick. I want to do a comparison for you all, because I've got some ideas about how you can pick. And it's not necessarily going to be on whether you're dark or fair. Let me just show you the 2 palettes. I'm going to also show you the swatches. I'm going to do the eyeshadow afterwards. The swatches coming up now. Just editing a little bit in between here to say that if you want to see the eyeshadow palette and you're not interested in the blush and glow palettes, I'm going to put some timestamps in afterwards. Okay, so this one is your fair to medium. And this one, to hold it against next to the other one is your tan to dark. Now, let's just go through these shades, shall we? Okay, so with this one reminds me very much of Love is the Drug, which is one of her cheek to cheek blushes. The very bright pink. But it also reminds me, a few years back, she did a bronze and blush palette. Now, I didn't get it because the bronzer was too fair, but the blush would look very similar to that and very similar on the swatches. This is a beautiful pinky highlighter. You can't go wrong. Now, when we come to the tan to deep, this is quite deep. I actually did think it was going to be a little bit more in between, but actually she really has catered for women of colour, especially women of deep colour, because this is a very deep terracotta. It's beautiful, and I have to say that of all the bronzers and blushes that I've owned from Charlotte Tilbury, I don't remember seeing anything like that. I'm trying to think of something I can compare it to, and I can't. And this is a very lovely deep gold tone. So if you want something that you've not tried before, this is actually quite unique, I think, in terms of anything you'll have owned from Charlotte Tilbury before. Now, I said right at the beginning that you don't necessarily have to go on your skin shade to decide which one of these to get, because I think you'll probably notice from looking at these is one is very cool toned, the one underneath, and the one above is very warm toned. So if you've got a warm undertone, you could always go for the tan to deep, and if you've got a cool undertone, you could always go for the fair to medium. But again, if you look at the swatches on her website, the cheek swatches, she's actually got cheek swatches of very fair people wearing the deep to tan, because she knows that people like the variety. So, you know, it's basically what you like. Now, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put one on one cheek and one on the other so you can see the difference. I'm going to do that first, and then we'll get on to the eyeshadow palette. And after I've done this video, I will put on little timestamps so that if people want to skip to, I should have said that at the beginning. I will say it in the beginning. I'll edit it in. But if people want to skip to the eyeshadow palette, they can do. Okay, so let's go and let's try these on. Okay, I do have some Charlotte Tilbury bronzer on my face, but I've got the same bronzer on both sides. So I'm going to take, this is actually her bronzer brush. I'm going to take the bronzer brush and I'm going to use her blush brush. Let's take the blush brush, and I'm going to use the dark one first. So I'm going to go in with this beautiful terracotta. Now, you could use this almost as a bronzer, but actually, no, I think it's nicer as a blush. That is beautiful. Excuse my brush from molting. It does tend to do that. Let me just tap a bit more. I'm going to deliberately build this up so that you can see what it looks like. That is very, very pretty, I have to say. Now, let's take, I'm going to take my Real Techniques setting brush, because it's really good for getting the best out of your highlighter. And I'm going to go in with this lovely, very quite dark highlighter, and use it above just to see what that looks like. That is very pretty too. Now, if you're fairer than me, it's going to look quite dark. If you're darker than me, it's going to look really stunning. And it is a beautiful formula, I have to say. Do you know that's got quite summery vibes? I think I'll be wearing that a lot next summer. Because it really looks sun-kissed. And also, of course, don't forget that, what have I always said? Pigment is pigment. You can always use this on your eyes, your lips, wherever you want, within reason. Don't put it on your waterline. Okay, let's try and use the other side now. Not try, let's do it. I don't know why I said that. Now, I'm just going to clean off this blush brush. And I'm going to go in with this pink shade. And let's see if it looks similar to Love is the Drug when I actually put it on my skin. Yeah, perhaps a little bit more muted. Or maybe I was just going, I'm not going to tap as much off this time. Yes, it's a little bit, when you actually apply it to the face, it's a little bit more muted than Love is the Drug. But still a really pretty pop of pink. Let's build it up so you can see it in its full glory. Okay, now I'm going to clean off my Real Techniques setting brush and go in with this lovely pinky gold highlighter. I have to say that I'm not always taken aback with her recent highlighters, but that is very, very pretty. And very pigmented. So, just so that you can see again, this is the light to medium, close up. And then we have the tan to dark. Okay, I'll take a picture of that and I'll be right back. Right, let's move on to the Beautyverse palette. And I have to say, I was actually quite excited about this product because she's been bringing out so many lip products recently. And I just thought, oh, not more. And also, as one famous commenter said one day about Charlotte Tilbury, it's not another 50 Shades of Elastoplast. This is not another 50 Shades of Elastoplast. You've got some really interesting colours in that palette. And one of my favourites, of course, which is Lilac. I'm going to show you the swatches on my arm here. Also, what I love about this on first impression is it's one of those palettes that you can actually use all on its own without dipping into other shadows. And the reason I say that is because it's got your three very neutral shades that are in matte. So really good if you've got hooded eyes, but for any eye look, it's great to have that to put in the socket. So I think that's really, really good. And then you've got a mixture here. You've also got this incredibly eye brightening pinky peach shade in matte, which is really good if you want to go for an all matte look. You've got this insanely pigmented silver It just went on in one swipe. Really, really pigmented. I was really impressed. Then you've got a couple that are a little bit more what I would say are your toppers. They're quite sheer, but they would look really pretty, say, if you put it over that colour. And again, you've just got these very cool toned shimmer shades, which is quite unique for Charlotte because she doesn't tend to go as much for purples and cool toned shades. So it's really, really good. And I'm really getting the Christmassy vibe from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip in and do a little look with this. And let's see how we get on. I think I'm going to have to use that silver. I was really blown away by that. But let's see how we get on. In case anyone's interested, by the way, how much product you get 9 grams each. Each pan is 1 gram, so that's quite a generous amount of eyeshadow. It's definitely a kind of full-size palette. Okay, I'm going to start off with this one, which is a brilliant transition shade. Okay, I'm going to build up a little bit by using the other two, just so that you see all the shades. Now this one in the middle that I'm using is actually a lot warmer, so it's a lot less like a shadow, but what I'm going to do is just tuck that one in at the side there. Okay, and then I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to tuck that also in the corner and build up the colour, but I'm also going to use that one a bit later on to line my lids with as well. So I'm just going to put this one in a V shape. I really like this tone here, and I'm just going to show you a little bit here, that so you can see what I mean about it being really eye brightening. So if you wanted to go for a sort of minimalist daytime look, it just really brings the eyes open. Do you see what I mean? It really makes the eyes pop a bit. But I'm not going to do that. Let me just put a bit on the other side just to even it out, because I want to really try and put on some of this silver. You know me. So I'm going to actually just put some on with my finger because it's so insanely pigmented that I just had to try it. But I might put some other colours over the top because some of these are really good toppers. Well, if you're at a Christmas party, you're really going to be seen with this on your eyelids. Now, it is a bit stark for the daytime, certainly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this lilac one over the top. And I'm just going to take it with a brush and see what happens. In fact, I'm going to take a Real Techniques brush, a flat brush, and I'm going to dab some on this one, I think. This is a Real Techniques shadow brush, and I'm going to pick some of the lilac up, and then I'm going to dab it over the top of the silver and see whether it sticks. It might be that I'm better putting it on with my fingers, but I'm just going to try this. Let's try that with the fingers, because it does show up, but I think it's going to show up more if I press it on with my fingers. I'm trying to show you as many colours as I can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put some of this pink, and so that we're going to gradually get lighter as we go out into the eyes. And I'm just going to put some of this over the top as well, just again to see what this looks like. I think the silver underneath kind of overtakes everything, but so that you can see it without the silver underneath, I'm just going to show you what that looks like underneath. I'm going to put some of this, so this is the one I'm using. I'm going to put some of that under here, not on the outer corner, but just in the middle. Again, really, all of these are really eye brightening shades. Of course, I'd love to try the gold, but gold and silver together is a bit too much, I think. Now, this one here at the end is a beautiful topper as well. Can you see that one? So, I mean, that's going to be good. Let me just dab some of that in here because it will be quite light reflective. Yeah. And it's going to be less stark than if I put on the silver in the outer corner. And I can also put, this one is more of a topper shade, but I'm going to put some here and some here. And I definitely think one of the things that you can do just to take away a little bit of the silver is, again, just put some of that matte peach. I'm just going to put some of it over the top. I'm going to play around with some other looks with this palette. And maybe do one on my live tomorrow. Although I have promised to do another Disney look. So we'll see where we go. But maybe I might do another look on a non-live. That would be the way to do it. Because I'd like to experiment with doing a look using the golds and using a less cool toned look. Because that at the moment is going better with this blush. But when I'd like to do one that's going to go better with this blush. Which is the advantage, by the way, of getting to both shades of this. Right, now I'm going to go in with the very dark brown, and I'm going to use that as a liner, and I'm going to mix it with some of my pigment mix. So using the darkest brown and mixed with this Inglot Duraline, I'm going to make myself a liner. Okay, so I'm going to finish off. I did my mascara and brows off camera. I'm going to put a bit of Charlotte Tilbury Eye Cheat in the waterline. And then I'm going to move on to the lips. Now, one of the lip liners from Charlotte Tilbury I haven't used for such a long time. And I do like to mix things up. I need to get a sharpener and sharpen it, but it's Bad Romance. Now, Bad Romance is a really, really dark lip liner, but I thought it might be fun to do an ombre lip using Bad Romance. So let me get my sharpener and I'll be right back. Okay, let's do this. Now, as you can see, it's quite a purpley colour. Very similar to, if any of you have ever tried Night Moth by MAC, same sort of thing, really good for doing an ombre lip. So now let me get a lipstick. Right, as this is a cool toned look, I'm going to put on Velvet Underground. So there you have it. I'm just going to finish off with a bit of Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And I've done my look. Now, my thoughts about the eyeshadow palette. Things that are good. As I've said, I like the fact that you've got some neutral shades, especially good if you've got hooded lids, but always good for everyone. Especially like this shade here. It's very like a shadow. Very, very good. These are a bit warmer. And I really like this eye brightening shade here. I also think this is really insanely pigmented, and there's lots of pretty shades here. There's a but coming. One thing I think is missing from here, I think they could have perhaps sacrificed one of these neutral shades, maybe the one in the middle, and given us another matte colour or another more pigmented shimmer shade. Because quite a few of these are kind of topper shades. It feels like you're missing something and that you might not be able to get an awful lot of looks out of this. Having said that, you can get the very cool tone look and the very warm tone look. And I'm definitely going to have another go and do a warmed tone look. But the warmer toned shimmer shades are not as super pigmented as the silver. That's the thing. If you take this shade here, the gold one, it's lovely, but it's nowhere near as pigmented. And it's a different formula to the silver. I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to try that tomorrow. So stay tuned. I'll do that on a non-live because I have promised to do another Disney look for you all. But that is my thoughts about that. That would be the only thing I say. But overall, I think some really exciting new product launches from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm really pleased to see that now she's got a couple of blushes and she's now got an eyeshadow palette. And it's not just all new lip products. Overall, very happy. Now, if you've got any comments or questions about the palettes that I've shown you today, do leave your comments. Do consider subscribing if you're not already, and do tell your friends about my channel. I'll see you all very soon. Love you all. Mwah!